we do a lot of nerdy things on this show.
Yeah.
And I was inspired by something that I believe it was last week I had done this, or maybe it was the week before. Time is construct.
It's a flat circle.
I lose track of the time, but I've been mocked many times for trying to deny that it's football season, even though there's no football games on right now. And I decided this weekend, in between sessions of painting, that I was going to
Art boy.
I was going to do one of the nerdiest football things I have ever done. And so with that, we debut a segment just for this week, though it will be back later this season.
Okay.
In its usual form. But my friends, I relent. I surrender. I give up. I give up trying to convince people that it's still summer.
Even though it's 93 degrees? Why did you give up today? This is the worst day to give up.
It is time to get fired up for football. Josh, you have won. Despite the fact that the calendar still says July, barely August. Despite the fact that the temperatures will be near 100 degrees all this week. And despite the fact that there's a thing called the Summer Olympics, it's football season. And thus, Unsportsmanlike Conduct, the program that has given you many, many, many nerdy things, like Bill Conley, Kay Ford, and numerous deep dives into numbers, factoids, and statistics, brings you the nerdiest football thing ever. And so, we get
fired up for Football Mega Simulation 24. A preview of what might happen in 2024 Power 4 college football. That's right, we skipped the group of 5. Everybody else is doing it, we might as well too. So sit back, push the glasses up the bridge of your nose, and get football nerdy. Fired up for football. Mega Simulation 24.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, inspired by something that I did last week. When Bruns was on, but remember when I went through and I simulated the entire Big Ten season?
Yes. Yeah, you did that during the segment with Bruns.
Well,
yes. Poor Bruns.
You weren't even listening to Bruns. You were like, whoa, how about the left guard?
I decided,
Corey, John loves himself some long opens. One of our bosses said that recently. It made me laugh so hard.
And you know what? A fun bit. I don't care because it's the Mega Simulation.
Nice.
I went in, in between sessions of painting, while we were waiting for one coach to drive.
Did you just pick every game?
We went and picked every game of the Power 4. We didn't use the group of 5.
Come on.
Screw them. Hey, everyone else is doing it. Everyone else is doing it.
If everyone else
NCAA
voted for Trump, would you do it too, John?
I guess, because he's the only one on the ballot.
Wow. Unreal,
So,
John.
yes, we are bringing you the Mega Simulation.
Nice.
So I did. I went in. There's a site. I can't remember what the name of the site is.
K Ford.
I just switched. I just searched
Wikipedia.
Big Ten season simulation.
Okay.
And I looked at all the Power 4 conferences, and I tried my very best to pick the winners. Obviously the favorites got benefit. I did pick a few upsets. I used some of the K Ford ratings as a little bit of a guide.
Okay.
Because the main exercise of this is I wanted to see what a season could end up looking like from a playoff perspective. And
from a tiebreaker perspective,
how crowded it could be.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the field is going to be. And that's another reason why I left the group of 5 out, because as we know, whoever the best team in the group of 5 is, they're going to get the one playoff spot. That's going to be it. They ain't going to get any at-larges, nothing like that. So there really wasn't any point to simulating every game.
It's just,
I'd be still clicking on buttons right now if I did the whole year.
By the way, a reminder that John begged, and we're talking about Liberty Football is our 1G5 representative on Wednesday in 25 teams.
I mean, I thought everyone rooted for Liberty. That's all I heard about during the opening ceremonies was, we did this for the Liberty.
No.
That's
I thought you didn't watch the opening ceremony.
Wasn't there
We did. It was on right here.
Wasn't there that whole give me liberty or give me death?
That too.
Well,
I'll take the death.
Oh.
So what we're going to look at today, just kind of as a primer to get you started, and then tomorrow and the rest of this week, we'll go week by week in November, because that's when the conversation's really going to heat up.
You're
right?
not kidding.
I told you it's the nerdiest thing ever. Did I not promise you the
You
nerdiest
said
thing
it.
ever?
I don't know why I doubted you. You delivered on the nerd.
Again, the purpose is to
Be a nerd.
be a nerd and to find out just how crowded this field might be.
So real quick, it's a little eye test, but also a little computer, right? Or is this
Yeah.
more eye test and a little computer?
I mean, really, it's my judgment.
So John, this is John's brain and a little K4.
John's
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah,
Vibes and K4.
Right.
John's brain.
And again,
K4.
like I said, I mean, the odds of this hitting are 1 in 10 trillion.
Nice.
But I think I didn't go crazy, right? I didn't pick a lot of insanely ridiculous upsets like, Austin P isn't beating Georgia, for
Nebraska's
example.
not going to beat Ohio State.
Bingo.
Okay.
I did pick a few upsets, kind of calculated,
S's and G's.
just to see what a season might look like. So
one
at the
thing
end
already-
of September,
Yeah, one thing's already jumping out to me about this list here, John.
What's
Alabama not listed on the list of undefeated SEC teams.
No, they are not.
Did you have them losing to Wisconsin?
Honestly,
Oh no,
I
they
don't-
played Georgia. They played Georgia in
They
September.
played Georgia. They played Georgia.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember some of these. But after the first month of the season, so at the end of September, which would be week 5,
Mm-hmm.
I count,
two, three.
six undefeated teams in the Big Ten alone.
Yep, 3
Including
in the
Nebraska.
ACC, so that's 9.
3 in the ACC, 4 if you count Notre Dame, 1 in the Big 12, 7 in the
I
SEC.
believe that's 17.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Whew! Whew!
Which is not surprising.
No,
right?
it's September, and most teams are playing bad non-conference schedules, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. Then
Hmm.
after the end of, how come it didn't switch? Oh,
You're switching
I'm
the other
clicking the
one.
wrong slide.
Yeah. There we go.
End of October, week 9.
Oh!
End of October.
Oh, no
week
more
9.
Nebraska? You freaking hater.
Nebraska is no longer undefeated.
And are they in the 3 schools at 6
Yes.
and 2? So
I
losing to Ohio State
think I had them losing to Rutgers.
the Rutgers.
I just, I didn't feel comfortable saying Nebraska's going to go 7-0 before Ohio State.
You
They
shouldn't.
could,
You shouldn't.
but I figured they got to lose somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We're down to 1 undefeated ACC team, North Carolina, unless you count Notre Dame, that'd be 2. Oregon and Penn State undefeated. Yes, I picked Oregon to beat Ohio State.
Hell yeah, you did, John, because you're smart.
Utah still undefeated in the Big 12, and Texas and Tennessee undefeated in the SEC.
Wow.
But again,
Go Vols.
look at how many 1 and 2 loss teams are just, it's a crowded field. Now, again, it's only the end of October. By the way, this is when we anticipate the first
rankings.
playoff committee rankings to come out, right?
Uh-huh. Definitely.
So this basically, if my simulation were correct,
According to
these
my
are the
research.
teams that would be in the top 25.
But I was just going to say that because there are 5 teams in the ACC, 5 teams in the Big 12, so that's 10. There's 6 in the Big 10. That's we're at 16 teams. There's 7 in the SEC. There's the 6 and 2 teams. Yeah, you add all of these up, and that's a top 25.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the fun things that we have done lately is, hey, how many teams do we think will be in the mix in November? I would say that this list, or these records rather, would be the number of teams that would be in the mix. Now, we did the research last week on low-ranked teams or unranked teams who have shot to the top of conferences in the last 10 years, and there have been multiple unranked teams. So in theory, those could be possible as well. But this is a solid kind of amalgamation of the teams that we would expect to be in the mix if they had these. If you enter the final month of the year with 2 losses, you're definitely in the mix.
Yes.
3 losses, depends. But definitely 2 losses, you're obviously in the mix.
So let's take a look. We're going to do one of the weeks in November, and then tomorrow we'll go week by week.
Okay.
So this would be after week 10, which is the weekend of November the second. This is the weekend that Nebraska plays UCLA.
What a fun final weekend before the election that will be. I hope that everyone enjoys their television commercials. Lots of ads, John.
Lots of them. But in the Big Ten.
Whoa, you had Oregon losing. Who to?
Michigan.
Michigan? They don't have Harbaugh, you moron.
Well, again, a lot of this is, can Oregon go undefeated?
That's hard.
That's hard to do.
It's very difficult.
And this would be a trip to Ann Arbor. It's cold. Again,
it's chilly.
You're just trying to spitball a little bit here what it's going to be. But
you know about the birds, Nick.
Ooh, I just got the birds.
Bill Burr.
You would have, if the mega simulation is correct, you would have 7 teams with 1 loss at the top of Big Ten standings.
What?
Iowa, Oregon, and Michigan are 5-1. Ohio State, Maryland, Penn State, and Rutgers are 4-1. One thing you're going to learn about the mega simulation really, really likes Maryland.
What?
Weird.
The mega simulation is an idiot.
Is Tiny Baby Tua still in Maryland?
No. He tried to come back for another year, and they said, no, thank you, bro. John, if you are correct on this, and we're going to go through the other conferences.
Yes, we'll go through the other power
My
conferences.
God, Nick, we need to take his soapbox away. If the records after November 2nd are that, he is going to do his show from the soapbox.
Uh-huh.
He won't even sit in his chair.
Because there's plenty of time for those ties to be broken.
Yeah.
There's 4 more weeks of football to be played.
I will
before those ties are broken.
I'll believe it when I see it.
In the ACC, Florida State 7-1, 8-1 overall. Who did I have Florida State?
I was going to ask you, Miami? Was it Miami?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I had Florida State beating Notre Dame, which, by the way, they don't play until the following week. There's a tease ahead.
Spoiler alert for tomorrow.
But you got Clemson, Louisville, Virginia Tech, and North Carolina also with 1 loss. They've played a different number of games. But that would be the ACC.
Okay.
After week 10. In the Big 12, you got undefeated Utah. Then it's Central Florida and K-State at 5-1. Okie State, TCU at 4-2. By the way, if you look below, you can see the results of that week.
I saw
who I picked.
Very
who I
fun.
picked.
Yeah.
Who I picked in those games.
Cool.
And in the SEC, Tennessee and Texas both undefeated.
Let's go Vols.
Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU all with 1 loss.
I'm surprised Texas is doing so well in this simulation.
John is saying, hook 'em.
I picked Texas to beat Georgia.
Awesome. That'd be fun.
It'd be wild.
I hate Georgia more than Texas, so go Horns.
I just, I think Texas.
Dude,
I think Texas will be good. And I hesitate with teams changing over in new conferences, so I tried to keep that bias out of my picking. And I also figure, we just talked to Mitch Holtis about three-peating.
It's hard.
You don't three-peat in college football either.
Yeah, and that's why they didn't last year. They lost. By the way, it seems like you and I might be doing a little handshake memeing on Tennessee. I like the Vols this year, and you have them 8-0 going into the second weekend in November.
And before we get to tomorrow, quick look ahead to tomorrow.
Yeah.
These are the games of the week.
This is so nerdy.
In week 11, if the mega simulation is true. Now, these are only between what I would call playoff contending teams in the moment.
Wow, hater.
But you got Florida State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU, Maryland, Oregon.
I
told you.
Big noon kickoff. It's Maryland at Oregon at 9 a.m. in Eugene.
The mega simulation really likes the new
mega
look,
simulation
skinny head coach there at Maryland.
They need to chill out a little bit.
Clemson, Virginia Tech, and Oklahoma State, TCU.
Couple comments real fast before we talk Oregon Ducks. Sad Husker fan writes, what are the tiny baby Buffs, 2-7? Yeah, how have you didn't give us a Coach Prime update?
Or is there going to be a special edition of Mega Simulation
Well,
dedicated
when we
to Coach
get to
Prime?
the very end of the
We'll
mega
see.
simulation, you will see everybody's record.
Strigori asked, or just says rather, John should take a $5 flyer at your sponsored sportsbook. That's FanDuel, of course, for the conference champs and playoff teams. Yeah, when you get to the end of this, we should do a little parlay, parlay to win the conferences with the teams you like and see what the payout would be. That'd be fun.
So again, I did this over the course of painting on Saturday.
You did not lie. This is super nerdy.
I'm into this.
This is very, very. Well, of course,
this is to get you fired up for football. The mega simulation.
I'm happy that you've come over to my side. It's just nice to have you here, John.